So if you heard that and you're a long-time listener of this network, you would know what you're in for tonight. Welcome to another edition of Owen Slept Through Raw here on the Popcast Network. I'll shoot with you guys. I worked since 6 a.m. I got off at like 5:15. I was wiped out. I got through the beginning of Raw, and these go-home shows, these Raws are just getting so hard to get through. I try to stay awake, and I pretty much got to the triple threat, and it was like, game over.
Which is annoying. Because
telling me
was, as usual, a shit go-home show. There were bits in it in which there's interesting stuff, and then you get two very good matches.
Of course.
Probably 2.5. We'll get to that. So yeah, Memorial Day, John Cena's talking about America. And great people like Reagan and Obama. Surprised Vince hasn't gone for the Donald yet. Or does he even realize that'd be tainted goods if he tried to bring it up?
I don't like him or hate him. I have a feeling right now he's such a hot button topic. I think Vince would even stay away from it.
Yeah. So we open with Miz TV, and Miz says, "I'm looking forward to Sunday. I'll finally get my hands on that thief, Dean Ambrose. We faced each other a few weeks back for that IC title on Raw, and Dean got himself intentionally DQ'd. And that's why I made sure that Kurt added that stipulation that the title can change hands on a disqualification if Dean tries the same stuff again." And then says, I can assure you that I'll be a 7-time Intercontinental Champion. And then he introduces Sheamus and Cesaro. There's, nobody else in this roster has worked as hard as you guys to become champs, only for the Hardys to just show up out of nowhere and steal your spotlight. And Sheamus says, yeah, all these fans are just fickle. The new toy that was an old, the new toy that's the repackaged. Thankfully he didn't say revival, but the whole idea is like, the new toy from 20 years ago has come back in a new model, and they're all in awe of it, and everything that they were in love with, like them, all of a sudden is thrown to the curb. And Miz goes, the situation you guys and I'm in are pretty much the same. We've been victimized by these fans. When I had that IC title, it was always held in high acclaim and everything. And ever since Dean's been champion, he's dragged it back down into the gutter. Cue Ambrose's music and says, look, I may not make great decisions all the time, but I see 3 idiots in the ring, and I've decided to shut you up. And Miz goes, that's a stupid idea, isn't it? There's 3 of us and only one of you, Dean. Cue the Hardys. They and Dean slide into the ring and brawl with Sheamus and Cesaro. Miz rolled out the ring and avoided all contact as much as possible. The faces stand tall, and I guess over the ad break, Kurt Angle was taking a shit, so Teddy Long came out and said, hold on, player! I'm going to make it as a 6-man tag match.
I mean, come
ding,
on.
Ding.
Like it wasn't
Ding,
going to happen.
ding, 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 ding,
Welcome, Pedro, to chat.
and ding. The match, I mean, it was all right.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad 6-man tag. It felt like a match that could have main evented a second hour of Raw. Don't understand why it was on the first hour of Raw. Don't understand why it was the opening match on Raw. But it was a good way to get the crowd into the show right away. It's nice, though, here that The Miz is the one that ate the pin. And Jeff Hardy was the one that got the pin with the Swanton. So it gives no indication what the finish is going to be on Sunday. Very interesting. And like I said, the match was pretty good, but pretty much just that. Hopefully Ashley's still with us. He's gone quiet. So in the middle of this, all of a sudden, you see Corey Graves on his phone. He's texting. Michael Cole asks him just a regular question, and Corey's like, "Huh? What? Oh!" And then he just bombs out. He's just like, "I gotta go." So it was random. So we pan back to see what's going on, and Kurt Angle is in the back, and he's reading what Corey's phone said. He says, "A disgraced embarrassment to the WWE, besmirched my status as an Olympic gold medalist." He's like, "Is this a joke?" He's like, "You know what? I'm on your side. This is serious." Graves is like, "I think you're doing a great job." And Angle was like, "How do you find out about this?" And Graves is like, "You know what? People tend to tell me things, but I'm willing to help." Angle's like, "If this is true, it could ruin me." Could years later we finally have Graves TV be what GTV stands for?
What? GTV?
What happens when Ashley disappears when I'm trying to talk?
Hi. I was trying to grab my dinner and I got distracted by my parents saying, "Oh, can we get this? Because it comes with a free Kindle." And I'm going, "Yeah, it's not that big enough." Now, the one that we got for cheaper is the one that we got for cheaper is probably better because it's got more storage.
Right.
Yeah,
Wrestling.
I'm guessing because you're bringing up GTV.
Yes.
We're talking about the weird bit with Corey.
Yeah, G meaning Graves TV. That Corey Graves is the person behind.
I heard you mention that, but I was trying to work out where I'd heard GTV before Graves TV.
Oh, I've been thinking this for a long time. Actually, I've been when I was watching the segment tonight. One of the things I did make it through, it was something that jumped out at me immediately. It's like, wait a minute, they're making Corey Graves like the it guy, like the guy on the inside that everybody.
Remember, he was the guy that interviewed Aries and Neville last week.
Correct.
On 205 Live. Live to the audience as well. So yeah, that I am intrigued as to what the Corey's been distracted by. What's been implied is it's video footage of something.
Right.
And Kurt's he's clearly concerned by what he's seen. And Corey's like, look, people know me, they get in contact, and you've been doing a great job so far, and I thought you might want to see this just in case anybody tries to use it as ammunition to say that you're not doing your good job well enough. I'm still sort of intrigued, especially because we'll get to the bit later. So now Elias Sampson's in the ring, playing his guitar. Certainly being more Dylan this time, because he's mostly in tune. He just goes off key for the start.
Or Ben Stiller as Bruce Springsteen from the MTV Video Music Awards one year.
Don't bring him up. He's getting divorced.
Christine Taylor's on the market.
Apparently, they're splitting up.
Life is good.
That's what happened. That's what I get. That's the effect of Zoolander 2, everybody. Caused a divorce. Who knew? Interestingly, though, after he'd finished singing, the crowd were actually sort of just silent. They didn't boo.
No.
They were just like, yeah, it's all right. And then, hang on, I'll need to bring that back as well. He's taking on a guy called Zach Evans.
Yes.
Jobber alert! Jobber alert! There's a fucking jobber in the ring.
I'd really like to say that I have information because I'm not going to lie, Ashley, and you know me well enough by now to know that I do this. When somebody shows up on Raw or SmackDown that I've never seen before, or maybe have an inkling about, I try to find out who it is. Usually I'm pretty good on that. I have no idea who this kid is. But I'll say right now,
possibly CWF,
maybe,
or PWX. I know they're North Carolina, but you know,
I mean,
they always try and get somebody from the Carolinas promotions.
We will try to find out and maybe have an answer for that definitively on Wednesday. I'll see if I can find something.
Look now.
But I will say about this match, kid knows how to bump.
Mm-hmm.
He bumped like a pinball for Elias Sampson, took everything he had, and then some. Sampson literally tossed him into the corner with reckless abandon. And he wins with a vicious crossroads, which I love the sell. He basically sold it right on his head, where he looked like he was in a body contortion unlike anybody's ever been in their entire life. Really done well to get Elias Sampson over, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's a vicious I've been saying this for a while. I've never had the issue with Elias Sampson that most people have. I've been trying to build him up a bit, and more performances like this, even though I'm not extremely a major fan of squash matches, I will say that it did the job this time around. Because you can tell that they want to do something with him.
Yeah. The swinging net because obviously a pretty good move as well. So
And that no one's using WWE, no one's using it. So I mean, why not?
the only thing I can find out about Zach Evans is one of the WWE Creative Humor Twitters things says he comes to us from every episode of WWF Superstars circa 1991.
I saw that too. They're not giving me anything.
Nothing is there. I certainly didn't recognize him. It wasn't like, oh my god, it's that person. Then Corey comes and Corey's just like, So we'll see.
Booker T during this match had one of my moments of the night.
Huh?
Exactly. He said he didn't even know the kid's name, and Cole's like, it's Zach Evans. Yeah, exactly.
Blimey. Blimey, Charlie, and other sorts of body daddy.
Oh, but it's actually tomorrow on SmackDown. I know this is out of order, but it's before this. There's going to be a 5-way to determine who's going to be facing Naomi for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Yep.
That's all I really
interesting. Seems interesting as to how shit it will be.
Yeah.
Because confidence, not so much. So then we got Samoa Joe watching Finn's special on the TV backstage. The network, which is weird because they're them. And he's asked about his plans for tonight, and Joe's like, the only reason I've been watching this special is I know what his weaknesses are, where those injuries are that I can take advantage of. And it's like, and as for Bray, stop! And Bray's like, you don't know me, but I know you. Everyone else is blind. The only one that's seen the future. I know all, and I know that my to be the slayer of the beast. All you guys can do whatever you want to do, but be assured I will not turn away from this fight. So all you other guys, Joe, Balor, Roman, Seth, you should all give in to your fear this Sunday and just simply run. And then Finn Balor comes out. And then we're going to the triple threat next. Hopefully, this time. Maybe. Possibly. Or something. Jesus.
So Ashley, we have a couple comments. Welcome Logan to chat, by the way. Pedro says they made Elias look brutal, and he could be what could be potential things we could see from him, and he looks very well. They hope he keeps it up. And Pedro is asking if we're really going through with the female Money in the Bank. It appears that way. I just think that the people they've got in that match, though, I mean, I don't think it's going to work as well. I really think this was their I mean, obviously not an opportunity because they passed that by. But I would say this would have been a great time if we had all the women on one roster. Because splitting up the women's brands is not the answer. And we see this every single week. That's how you get things like Carmella.
Mm-hmm.
This match was good, though. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the 3-way.
Yeah, it really was good.
No
leaves me
surprise.
confident that with the one we'll get to later in the main event.
Right.
It's a very interesting combo in terms of what's coming.
I like how Joe ends up just stealing the win without having to do much. So Joe's not winning on Sunday. And I mean that in two different ways as of right now. So, yes. I mean, good stuff here. I mean, everybody worked really well together. So, we get to the finish here. Joe gets caught with Sister Abigail. Balor goes up top and decides he wants to put some more pressure on Wyatt, so he attacks him again. Sling blade, shotgun drop kick, coup de grace. Here comes Joe. He throws Balor in the ring post, and he steals the win on Bray. I like that. I like it a lot, actually. And it gave Joe a big win going into Sunday, because obviously he's not winning on Sunday. So I mean, it's nice to see him win, even though everybody wants Joe and Brock, and I want to see Joe and Brock greatly, but it looks like they're going to give us Finn and Brock down the line. So I'm completely okay with this. Either way, somebody that does a sling blade is going to be getting the world title shot.
Something's happening.
Indeed. Get Rollins backstage in an interview segment.
Yeah, he says history shows that he's always had Roman's number, and regarding history, he's made it in the past, so you'll see him make history again on Sunday. And now there's Noam Dar with the accompanying Banks and Fox, respectively. Because, called it. Mixed tag match with them all on Sunday. And it was good for what we were given, which was, with respect, barely anything, which is a shame, considering the quality of these guys. But basically, Alicia got on the apron, tried to distract Swan, but Sasha knocks her off the apron and throws her into the apron on the outside as Swan connects with the Phoenix Splash, of which I think we saw 3 tonight, or 3 attempted. I think this was the only one that connected, from what I remember.
Well, given the fact that Noam Dar is actually in the news for the fact that he's going to be returning back to his old stomping grounds of ICW, which I know we're going to get into on Wednesday, but that was announced earlier today, so I thought that had to be brought up tonight. Since we're here anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not every day that Vince McMahon allows a WWE contracted superstar on the main roster to work an indie show. That shows how big of a deal they have with ICW.
Sure. So, Rich and Sasha dance, obviously, afterwards, because that's a thing. And then Charlie's with the Revival backstage, which is interesting because obviously we haven't properly seen them in quite a while, which is obviously brought up. And, they're like, well, don't worry, we'll be in action soon once the braces are out of his mouth. And then, well, I'm guessing you've seen that Enzo got attacked last week. And they say, look, we've been out of action for weeks, We had nothing to do with it. And then Charlie goes, hold on. And at the time, I wondered if this was a thing because nobody noted it apart from, of course, Dave and Brian on Wrestling Observer. But during the interview with Sasha, the Revival guys were walking backstage. So clearly that was not a goof. That was actually intended. And they're like, well, you know, we have been here every week, but we haven't been in action and wouldn't get into action with anybody. With all respect, nobody should waste their time on Enzo. And then they go back to commentary. And Corey goes, well, I know there's one person that was watching that footage intently. And that was Big Cass.
GTV.
And the other guys were like, wait, what? So then they recap beating Kendrick in the street fight on last week's 205 Live. And then because confronted Corey on commentary going, insinuating that I attacked my own partner. And Corey just says, look, I was simply sent something. I've passed that to Kurt. Kurt's going to be doing investigation into it. I'm sure you're doing your own investigations. You know, I'm making sure that everything's being dealt with. And, you know, they shake hands and Cass leaves. And it's like, actually doing it? Are they actually? Is this? See, the clever thing is it Revival? Or is it Cass? Or is it somebody else that we don't know about?
See, here's the thing. That's the great thing about this. And you saying this just brings us up again. GTV one more time. And if you want to go even further back, Ashley, we're going to go all the way back to the early 2000s where Joe Legend was working for the company. He did a gimmick called Just Joe. And he basically was there to just stir the pot. He was there to basically create tension everywhere. And he's like, you know what? Just don't shoot the messenger here. I'm just saying what needs to be said. I'm just putting the idea in your head that it's a possibility that the person you know may not be whom you think they are. They're doing this mixed with GTV and they're giving it to Corey Graves. I fully support this.
Corey getting involved in storyline, that's all I love.
I fully support this.
Speaking of fully, Callisto versus Titus O'Neil. Titus does an insert promo of Apollo saying, I'll show you how it's done. And the match goes, I think, like 2 minutes.
This match didn't even go a minute.
Titus basically just sat down on Callisto.
Yeah, he
reversing out of the
Salida del Sol.
The body scissors.
Well, okay, so I'll set it up. He goes for Salida del Sol, and Titus gets out of it. And he goes for Kalisto goes for the body scissors into the forward roll that he normally does, but Titus sat down on it, hooked the tights, and got the win. It looked really, really sloppy. Really sloppy.
Yeah.
I've been saying for a long time they need to do something with Titus O'Neil. Make him a manager. That actually might be the right thing to do. And I'm telling you right now, I know you're not going to do it, WWE, because you have different plans for him. But if you put Apollo Crews and Akira Tozawa as a tag team, and you have Titus O'Neil be their mouthpiece, I think we'd have something here.
Yeah.
But they're not going to do that. Nice talk.
And now.
Oh, dear God.
Now.
I saw a bit of
Dun,
this,
dun.
and I was, oh, God.
Dun, dun. I preface this with I feel sorry for Alexa and Bailey having to do this.
I agree.
I really do. Because this is a lost cause. Meanwhile, back to this shit. So Alexa comes out. People in the ring. There's like things on the table. Kendo stick on a pole. Everything. And Alexa's like, look, we all saw last week was had that chance to go with the stick, but she didn't have that killer instinct. So, I think it's clear. I wanted to know who she truly was. So, this is your life, Bailey. So the first thing they have is a doll. Apparently, Bailey's played since she was a kid, and still plays with today. Next, we have a trophy, which is a trophy for sportsmanship, because that's a thing. And then looking in the yearbook, and they looked it up, and they said, most likely to up. No, this is supposed to be funny, to be good. It fucking isn't, Vince, you stupid cock. But wait, it gets worse slash better slash worse. Now it's time to introduce the people. First up, 4th grade teacher of Bailey, Miss Flapper. What the fuck? Hey kids, do you know what vaginas are? They're called flappers. Yay! And apparently, all the time she was there in the classroom, so was her dad, because she couldn't bear to be away from him. Just. Then it's time for her childhood best friend, Tracy Javelina. What? Can we not come up with stupid names that make it sound like it's a fucking Zoolander slash Carry On slash, I don't know, Austin fucking Powers sketch? And Tracy's like, no one ever wanted to be her friend apart from me. And I had to stop being friends with her because rather than go out and get drunk, she just wanted to watch wrestling. So hang on, childhood friend. At the age of 12, you wanted to get fucking drunk. Great fucking role model there.
Oh, WWE writing staff, you are wonderful.
Now it's time for Bailey's ex-boyfriend, Phil Johnson.
Jeez.
And he says, look, she's nice and all, but all their dates, she kept bringing her dad along. And then he went in for the kiss and closed his eyes and went smooching and opened his eyes at the last minute and saw her dad. So immediately stopped. He nearly kissed the dad. And of course, the only reason he dated her because he wanted to get closer to her best friend, Tracy. And Tracy's like, oh, I didn't know you felt about. And then just within 10 fucking seconds, they start making out.
Yeah.
Let's do a live sex celebration on the purple table thing with all the shit and the Care Bears and whatever the fuck is else on there. And we'll get the. I was going to do a joke about Paige and Xavier Woods and bloody. What's his name? Let's get Miss Flapper filming it. But I won't I'll just leave it there. Because what the fuck was this absolute shit that you gave us, WWE? This makes bloody meat spin, 2 goals, 1 cup, and fucking anything else. That bit where the guy gets the bloody jam jar broken in his anus. All this is more kid-friendly than whatever the fuck that shit was. Seriously. Please. And then it sort of doesn't get better. Bayley comes out, attacks Alexa. Everybody else has fled the ring. Tracy and Phil are probably making a sex tape and selling it to X-Hamster because they know it'll get them on the fappening because they'll say, oh, look, she looks like AJ Lee. Bayley goes for the kendo stick. Alexa stops her. Every fucking week, Alexa, the heel that's supposed to be, the heel in peril, is the heel on top. What? Bayley isn't a fucking underdog. She isn't fucking Daniel Bryan. Get this into your thick fucking skulls. For fuck's sake. And then, of course, Alexa has a fucking kendo stick underneath the purple table. Smacks Bayley with it. Alexa's happy. Bayley's hurting. The crowd were going, this is boring. They kept doing the what stuff. Full credit to Alexa. She did deal with that well. But aside from that, fuck the writers. Fuck Miss Flapper. Tracy and Phil are already fucking. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why Chris Cornell died.
Oh, God. Well, on that note, Pedro...
I haven't done that in a while.
No, actually, Pedro basically started this off by saying it's Ashley o'clock.
It's Ashley o'clock, motherfuckers! Oh.
Okay. Remember? Okay, here... all right. I'll have to formulate this. You mentioned somewhere in that Bayley is not Daniel Bryan. No. But she could have been. Just like, I don't know, Sami Zayn could have been. But for some reason, they want to make both of them look as goofy as humanly possible and make no one care about them whatsoever. I put them in the same group because they're in the same boat right now. And we could have cared about Bayley, but Bayley is just another person now. She's not sympathetic because it's just a horrible storyline for everybody.
Yeah.
It makes nobody look good. We're setting up the ultimate payoff on Sunday where Bayley wins the title and just goes absolutely
Which, of
nuts.
course, also means, why the fuck did Alexa win? If she's a transitional champion?
I just think they wanted a title change, honestly.
Just like with fucking Naomi 3 months ago.
Oh, why is Alexa always getting stuck in these transitional spots?
That's how much fucking confidence they have in her, despite the fact, you know what? Yes, I was shitting on her at the start for not being good, but she's better than half of the fucking roster right now. Alicia, shit. Nia Jax, missing in action, thank fucking God. Paige, come on, belt. Who else? Can't even remember who else is on that fucking roster.
Well, I mean, here sufficiently to say, I've been building up Alexa Bliss since day one, even back in NXT. back when she used to do like the pixie gimmick when she was a babyface. And I knew she had something. And she has proven time in and time out, regardless how much confidence WWE shows in her, and obviously it's not very much, I will state right now that she's easily the best female heel that the company has when it comes to the women's division. And I would even put her against most of the men, too, at this point. She is the only one that could sufficiently shut down the what chant every single time.
Yeah, it was like,
that
what?
Takes something.
What have I got here? You'll be very pleased to know. You know, she dealt with it really well.
Always
she dealt
does.
with the fans really well, but for what she was given, it was just, I really feel sorry for these two girls.
I do too, completely. They ruined Bayley.
I don't feel sorry for the actors at all.
Oh, God, they ruined Bayley. It's this, we always say this all the time, and it's like a broken record here. Whenever someone gets brought up from NXT, they screw them up. Not always, but 9 times out of 10, they're going to screw them up. Vince McMahon, of course, likes to think Shinsuke Nakamura is a rock star. So now he's the rock star, and they've trademarked WWE rock star for him.
Oh, you're fucking kidding me.
Now, I heard that actually that was one of the pieces of news I saw when I got home from work yesterday. And Bruiserweight has been trademarked, so I mean that's a good thing. So.
Well, that makes sense.
Yes.
Rockstar? No, because that gimmick is shit.
He's also the artist too. Forget about Aiden English using that gimmick in NXT first.
So I guess the Velveteen Dream can't change himself to the artist formerly known as.
It would have made more sense, but yes. We bring that up every Wednesday, so yeah, we might as well. But I mean, still, I guess they're not going to go in that route.
And something has been brought to my attention.
Oh no!
There's a reason why we haven't seen Kathy Kelly.
I see her every week watching Raw.
Yes, but there's a reason why we haven't seen her other than on the Canadian feed.
Okay.
Because she's on a pole match of her own with a real rock and roller. Oh!
Very nice.
Good job, Finn. Good job, Kathy. Make sure that she isn't on television so WWE don't go, we're making this into a fucking angle.
Of course.
Good job, guys. I applaud you. So then we come back. Enzo's been attacked backstage. Cass checks on him and Kurt's there, and Cass is like, it's the revival. It's got to be the revival. Like, I saw them leave earlier tonight. They haven't come back. And Cass is just like, look, they had to have come back and snuck in. And Kurt says, look, I'm going to look into this. I'll get down to the bottom of it. And he's saying, like, good job you've done so far. And Kurt's just like, I'll do it. He just says, don't worry. I'm going to stay by Enzo's side to make sure that nothing else happens to him again.
I'm telling you.
So now I'm even more intrigued. Because I can't tell whether that's Cass putting it on or Cass is concerned because there's somebody else. I mean, the only ones I can think of that aren't really in any program is the Colons.
But there's no reason to use them right now.
Unless you're going to be building to some sort of number one contenders thing further down the line. What I'm guessing, the Hardys are going to lose the belts to Sheamus and Cesaro. on Sunday. And then the rematch will be at Great Balls of Fire.
I really think.
And then, is it Battleground next?
I think so. But, honestly, I think.
Just SummerSlam. Can't even remember.
So how are we doing with this lawsuit with what's going on between Impact and WWE for the right to the broken trademark?
Well, the weird thing is the Ed Nordholm released all the shit that we talked about last week.
Right.
It didn't change anybody's mind because they've always seen Impact as the bad guys because of how mismanaged Dixie made it. So despite they put the stuff out and said, "Oh yeah, it's in the contract. Anything that you do, is our property," they've been looked like the bad guys. Where's the creative freedom?
Okay.
The guy that got away with it was Bully Ray, because he basically added it into his contract that I created it. It's what I can use. Because of course he lost his rights to Bubba Ray Dudley with the WWE stuff.
Right.
So he made sure he had rights to his own gimmick before he did it. The thing is, though, with the way that Hardys have been reacting, and of course, certainly last week, very much so, with the whole yes and doing all the stuff, the Hardys clearly think that they have an ace card up their sleeve. I'm guessing this is going to court. I don't know how quick it's going to be able to be solved.
Well, the reason I say that is because you set up Sheamus and Cesaro, the Boondock Saints. You set them up as the killers, quite literally, not the indie band. Just you set them up as like they're going to be the ones that are going to put the final nail in the Hardys' coffin, and they're going to be the ones to end this new run. You set it up inside a steel cage, so it's not a ladder match; it's a steel cage match. You've got them at a disadvantage anyway. Obviously, Jeff's going to be willing to dive, which is going to happen. And we'll talk about dive on Wednesday. The thing about it is, you've set up Extreme Rules to be where the Hardys get broken. If they're able to, this is a perfect way to do it. This is a perfect way to break the Hardys and have them show up and have them take maybe a week or two off, and then have them show up with the broken universe when they come back to television. And that's what I would do, as long as legally they could get away with it. Because they could just have them get obliterated in the cage and have Sheamus and Cesaro just like, it looked like they just basically just killed them. If they want to break the Hardys, this is their opportunity. Not a ladder match, a cage match. They can even lock Jeff out, and like handcuff him to the cage and make him watch. And
I honestly think the angle will probably Matt climbs out, leaving Jeff left to climb out. Possibly one of the other, Sheamus or Cesaro climbs out as well. And then Jeff's there at the take. I've got to do it, man. It's in my contract. I've got to do a swanton off the top of something big and high and shit.
Of course.
Misses. Sheamus or Cesaro capitalizes on it. Actually thinking about it, the craziest finish, Jeff goes for the swanton. Cesaro gets up, hits him with an uppercut.
I can see that.
While he's in the middle of swantoning.
That's unique. It's something that hasn't been done, so that works.
And that's how they win. I'm guessing.
Or instead of an uppercut, what about a brogue kick?
Yeah, he then kick his teeth out.
Yeah, and then Chico can like talk about how much he hates Sheamus once again.
Yeah.
Which we all love, to say the least.
I'd say the safest would be Cesaro.
Yeah, don't put the Sheamus in charge of the finish. But it's a way to do it if they really want to. So, I mean, we'll see what they do on Sunday. Because sadly, somehow, some way, we're to another pay-per-view, and this Sunday is another WWE Raw pay-per-view.
Yeah, but I mean, you say that, but
all the build-up's better than
if I
SmackDown, for
quickly
sure.
bring... No, well, that's only because they're mismanaging guys that should be better than that, in all honesty.
Sami Zayn,
Extreme.
Fandango, and Tyler Breeze. Yeah, you were asking about the next pay-per-view. There is no Raw brand pay-per-view as of right now because July 23rd is Battleground and then SummerSlam is August 20th.
Do you like that SmackDown's one, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. If we're looking through the card in a minute, and we'll get to Raw back again. Swan and Banks versus Darren Fox might be all good.
Halfway.
Neville and Aries submission match will be good.
Are they finally going to put the title on Aries? Are we going to wait?
No. Well, we'll get to that now, I guess, then, if we're bringing it up. Although it is worth noting for the next match, Neville nearly killed the commentary team.
Oh, God.
Because you heard fucking Cole go, "You okay, guys?" And Booker T's just like, "Yeah," in sort of an exasperated way. It's like,
that's funny.
You could at least warn them when the pyro's getting set off, Vince.
That Neville pyro is unforgiving. I know that from WrestleMania week.
Yeah.
We were right next to it, too.
Yeah, but they must have really deafened it for the guys there. Because normally when it happens, they don't react like that.
This is true.
Even the commentators were like, "Whoa, that's fucking loud." This was a good match because it was actually given time. And the interesting concern for me, Owen, is Aries wins by the last chancery submission on Neville.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking that Aries is losing on Sunday.
I honestly think the guy that's dropping the belt to Net, or the guy that's getting the belt off Neville, is Tozawa.
With what they did with him and Brian Kendrick on 205 Live, I think it's a very distinct possibility.
That'll be the possibly. I mean, Neville could face possibly TJP. Because TJP will sort of turn face because he's realized that Neville, was never going to give him his opportunity and whatever.
Right.
And then possibly Tozawa at SummerSlam.
I think that's more of a marquee match, Neville and Tozawa.
Because of course they would have faced each other multiple times over in Dragon Gate, Japan. Because Pac was very good over there.
Of course.
And Tozawa was Tozawa, so we don't need to change that up. So yeah, you got that in the submission match. You got Hardy's and Cesaro and Sheamus, which would be good. Bliss and Bayley, despite the build-up, I'm hoping they will still be able to have a good match.
The wrestling
Even
match will
though
be good.
the stipulation being kendo stick on a pole was death to them. Ambrose and The Miz with the whole idea of if Ambrose gets DQ'd, he loses. That's an intriguing angle that we can have.
Even though WWE logic
of course,
states that goes to a pinfall.
And of course, we've got the 5-way. It is worth noting, though, that those are the only 6 matches that we know.
Right.
There is no pre-show match as of yet. Or anything. There are no other matches. And let's be honest, 6 matches are not going to last for the entirety of the show.
This is true.
Trying to see if there's anything on WWE.
I have to
Well, they're
think
actually
they're
doing
going to
a
announce at
poll.
least.
Who do you think attacked it? They're doing a poll. Who do you think attacked Enzo? I'm clicking big. Oh, everybody's saying Big Cass, including me. Mainly because I just wanted the figures. Although, interestingly, Revival are last behind somebody else.
Playing right into WWE's hands, everyone.
Even the fans are going, yeah, we don't think it's Revival either. It's either Cass or somebody else. Mike is with Roman backstage. I feel sorry for Mike. He's got to deal with really Roman tonight. Fucking hell.
Hey, anytime Mike Rome's on television, I'm completely down with it, even if he's talking
Yeah, but
Roman.
Roman just means it's not interesting, and it shouldn't exist. Now, no one owns me. I'll prove I'm the big dog. Stop saying this, Roman. You sound like a fucking idiot. Big dog, my yard.
God, I don't know why Vince really likes this big dog thing. I really think it's just stupid. But I'm not booking, so can't really do anything about it. Let Roman be Roman. He has personality. Let him show it.
Yeah.
Don't micromanage everybody. That's the biggest problem right now. They micromanage everybody. And they don't let people get over because they burn you out on people that they want to push that you might have liked anyway, but because they're the ones being pushed,
So then we get to a recap. Actually, no. They have Charlie asking Neville backstage about him tapping, and he's like, Neville just like leaves in a huff. Like, oh my god, what have I done? So then we get to Goldust attacking R-Truth from a few weeks back, and it's Dreams production. And Goldust is like, look, everyone's a little psycho. 1960.
thank God we're going back to that. Movie quotes and actually name dropping what movie they were from was one thing I loved from the original Goldust gimmick.
A star like me was too big to be in a supporting role. And I know, Truth, you wanted that spotlight to yourself. But the thing is, the ending will come to the Golden Truth soon. And it won't be a happy ending. It won't even be a sad ending. It'll be golden. The Golden Age. Except R-Truth interrupts with sort of a film of his own, which isn't Shattered Dreams. I think it's like a Little Jimmy production or something. And then he's in the same position, except there isn't a gold hue on everything. And all he does is...
We got into this thing with the best intentions, really. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Pulp Fiction, 1994.
Okay, I'll give him that. I will. I'm a Tarantino mark. Everyone knows it. Yeah, I'll give him that.
He takes inspiration from all the big black heroes like Shaft and Blade, and trying to remember who else he named. Probably Mr. Tibbs, all that sort of stuff. And that's why I'm a bad mother. Shut your mouth. Like, okay, we're actually quoting Shaft randomly. It's a bit random. So then, truth will get his revenge. You know how?
And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger.
That's it. He didn't continue on. And you know, my name is the lady. If
Yeah.
only Truth would have gone, you know my name is our Truth.
So for one night,
All he said is you're going to get got. Oh, we're bringing that back. Why aren't we getting rowdy? Come on, get rowdy. Okay, quick.
so for one night, Ron Killings became AJ's favorite wrestler. So we move forward. Apparently, Sasha's going to be on 205.
I know some shade at somebody by saying, why is Goldust doing all this when he's a jobber? And Cody just went, 3-time IC champ, 3-time tag champ, future Hall of Famer. He's a jobber? Really?
Cody's
by the way,
not wrong.
fuck the revival.
Yes. I swear to you, like I said before, I really think that's an in thing. I really do.
Also, I noted that the Young Bucks posted up a picture of them showing Marty some footage, which clearly was from one of the previous Being the Elite things.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get a shot of Kurt looking at the phone like, what is this? And then they've got Kenny going. They've got the shot, the video they did of Kenny that aired at the pay-per-view.
Yes.
Because he couldn't be there. It was just like, so that's what was on the thing. It wasn't anything to do with Revival or Cass. It was, oh shit, Kenny Omega's coming to WWE.
That's great.
By the way, I want to quickly mention, we'll forget it later. Both of the final nights of Block A and Block B of New Japan are now being broadcast live on New Japan World rather than on tape delay. The reason why I say this is Liger is 0-6.
Yep.
So his last match is basically, is he going to fucking win something, or is he actually going to go out on his back for every single one? And then the other interesting twist with Block B on the Thursday is everybody has the same record.
Yep.
So literally, whoever, it isn't even down to whoever wins, because of course, if everybody's on 3-3, we're going to have a 4-way tie. And it's only going to be determined on who beat who in terms of better record. So that's going to be complicated as shit to work out for next week. Also, New Japan World's YouTube channel has decided to put up AJ versus Nakamura from last year's Wrestle Kingdom for free in Japanese and English. You lucky bastards. If you want to know how shit it is with him being in the playground now, watch when they weren't. Watch when they were wrestling in Japan. Because, man, that match. I only bring that up now because it's main event time, which they gave, I'd say, about 20 minutes. Because admittedly, they didn't run over too much. I think they started like quarter to the top of the third hour. Or the third hour's finish, I guess I should say. And Rollins and Reigns put on a very good match. It's probably not as good as the triple threat, but certainly on a par. And it's like, why are we giving away good matches like this on a show that's clearly been on the whole shit? Thanks, creative, for that women's segment. Interesting finish as well. Seth goes for the, I think most people are calling it the Rainmaker knee strike because it doesn't have a name yet.
Yeah.
But Roman got out of it. Spear. Roman wins. Yes, he isn't winning on Sunday.
Exactly.
So we're down to basically the three most likely. That's the weird thing. If you looked at this on paper and went, what's happening when? Joe was going to be WrestleMania.
Yep.
Whether it was for the title or not. Roman was going to be SummerSlam, which now isn't going to be the case because it will probably be Raw. So then it leaves the other three. You know, do you do Finn Balor because they teased it? Or do you leave it as a tease for somewhere down the line and have it be either Seth or Bray? Because the thing is, if you look at all their promos and everything, everybody but Joe seems like they could be a choice.
That's the reason why.
Even Roman, because, dear God, fuck the revival. Roman. Damn it. Thanks, Cody. And the weird thing is, like, Seth's like reacting like, oh my God, I lost. And Roman celebrating, and that's it. There is no run-in from Balor or Joe or Wyatt. They have just a clean finish and fade to black. Weird. They actually did something sensible for a finish. As in, this person lost rather than mass brawl, here's a tease for the 5-way.
It's a holiday Raw. Not many people would have been watching anyway, unless you're like a diehard or you have to watch like we do.
Well, that's the thing. Wow, if you look at it, it went up against nothing. There was no NBA because Cleveland managed to win. So they face Golden State, I think, tomorrow.
Right.
So SmackDown's fucked. Or it might actually be Wednesday or Thursday, actually. No, I think it's Thursday, I think, the NBA finals start. Same time as the NHL final starts as well. Yeah. Let me get the actual card for the NBA finals as to when the matches are.
Stanley Cup playoffs were on
Thursday. Game 2 of the NBA goes right up against Extreme Rules. So they might be fucked there. Game 3 is Wednesday. Game 4 is Saturday. Game 5, if needed, would be Monday, the 13th. Sorry, Monday the 12th, going into the 13th, because of, you know, over here it's obviously starting like in the early hours of Tuesday morning. So if it goes to a Game 5 in the NBA, that's the only real competition they're going to have in terms of losing viewership. The thing is, if the viewers don't come back and these numbers stay as low as they are right now, even though they're going up against, you know, if the numbers are still low compared to last week, there's going to be something that should really be troubling them. in terms of where's everybody going. Because TV isn't going up at all.
No, people are tuning out.
Movies this weekend have been down as all hell. People are doing anything but watching TV and going to movies, at least this week. We'll see what happens with Wonder Woman and everything. But yeah, that's the only real competition that they've got coming up in terms of sports. So if the numbers stay where they are, the weird thing is, and we'll touch more on it in more detail next week, the viewing figures for Impact have gone up for the last 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
The weird thing is, it went up despite the fact it was going up against NBA. So, that's an interesting situation. More people watched Impact in terms of percentage increase on numbers. I mean, admittedly, it was only like 300,000, I think, but they actually saw an upturn going up against sports, whereas Raw tonight didn't, and we'll see if it, if it stays at 2.6 and doesn't see a boost up from last week's numbers. Oh boy. WWE are writing good shit and not, this is your life, Bailey.
Also, welcome, Acer.
Acer pops in relatively last minute. Oh my God.
Logan also said, just like Acer did, the Stanley Cup playoffs were on, and that's what Logan was watching tonight.
Oh, did it start tonight, game 1?
Game 1 was tonight.
With the Bugs and the Vills. I know I got it wrong on purpose. Lol, 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 lol.
Yeah, that's your go-home show for your Raw branded pay-per-view this Sunday night. Which means we got 3 wrestling podcasts this week.
Mm-hmm.
Back here this Wednesday, 9 p.m. for the Wednesday Wrestling Podcast. We're talking SmackDown, 205 Live, NXT, Ring of Honor. We're also going to be talking, we have WCPW stuff periodically. I believe Lucha Underground returns this week, too.
Hang on. Let me see if where I get the notes for my WCPW stuff can help me out. Oh, they haven't reviewed anything since. Have they given up on WCPW? Oh no. I know the Canadian show's been up on YouTube, and they obviously did the Henry Mania thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got this live show apparently this week happening. Oh, sorry, no, it's not live now. It's now going to be airing the day later, but for free on YouTube as well. Or something.
I believe Lucha Underground returns this week, too.
Yeah, they're starting to put trailers up for that as well. Even though the great thing is I have no clue what the fuck is happening with that.
Nope.
But they did such a great job of reminding us what's going on.
Back with more
Nope.
New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Well, of course, we'll be building up to the finale of the Super Juniors, and then
Dominion.
within a next week as well. I can't even watch. Probably what I want to in terms of wrestling that week because of E3, and of course it clashes with Dominion, in which Kenny might become world champion and bring the title gloriously to
Long Beach.
to our fair, to the US fair soil.
Yes. All that plus the Independence, various shows, news and rumors are going to be this Wednesday. here this Sunday night. I would say next, but technically it is next week. Well, it is this week, but I mean, in this coming Sunday after Extreme Rules, we'll be back for our Extreme Rules podcast. So we're going to talk a little Raw branded pay-per-view. That's going to be this Sunday. And of course, back here next Monday night at 11:30 p.m. for the Monday Night Raw Popcast. Ashley, where can we find you on social media?
I'm on Twitter at Ash is my name UK. Hopefully the game with Ash might be up unless Owen was asleep.
It's up.
It's up. Good.
Yep. I was, but it's up.
I was asleep.
Correct.
I was asleep until about 10 minutes in. But luckily, it was enough so I could actually roll back and catch up with the opening promo because I knew it'd be an opening promo.
Right.
Well, we always know. It's WWE Raw. It's pretty much always an opening fucking promo.
Pretty much. So you can, once again, thanks to everyone in chat tonight. Acer popping at the last minute. Always appreciated having Acer involved. Check out his YouTube channel, Acer5000. And he's on Twitter, available at Acer1337. Yes, in a row for all the podcasts you should be listening to, wrestling and or otherwise. And check him out. Give him a follow. He definitely appreciates it, without a doubt. Also, big shout-outs to Logan Burton. Logan's was in chat tonight. As always here, you can find him at Logan Burton 10 on Twitter. And Pedro, yes, Pedro Navarro, at Evil Takes Root on Twitter as well. So, yes, once again, a big shout-out to both Pedro and Logan for sticking around the whole show, and thanks Acer for checking out the show tonight, and thanks for everyone else that's stayed quiet in chat but listening tonight, because we really appreciate it. Wrestling content is getting back in popularity here on this network, so thank you again for checking it out. Follow me on Twitter if you so choose, at Sir Owen Disney. Follow the network at Popcast Network. Check out our Facebook fan page. Finally at 200 likes. Super excited about that one. Here's to the rest. Here's to the next 100 and then some. And that is under Sir Owen Disney and Popcast Network, or just check out Popcast Network. Zazzle merch and Patreon, both the Popcast Network. And that's going to be your show. So in the meantime, in a world where there are a billion wrestling podcasts, we're very pleased that once more this evening you have chosen a podcast. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for listening. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Yeah.
And that's all we got to say about that.